Hey y'all, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming back to Yolandas journaling. So today's video is going to be a little bit different, and the reason why I say that is because we're not going to a bookstore. And I do not want to call this my TBR. And when my previous vlog comes out before this one, you'll understand why I say I don't want to call it my TBR, because I'm such a big mood reader at the moment. Like, I enjoy having the books on my TBR that I would like to read, but I think it just puts a lot of pressure on me when I actually like go and look at my bookshelves and see other books that I want to read that's actually not on my TBR. So it's like, dang, I want to read this book, but it's not on my TBR, and I need to get rid of the books that I told my people that I was going to read. So I will still also let you guys know the books that I would like to read, either for that month or however I don't know how I'm going to put it. But anyway, but I don't know if I'm going to call it a TBR, just so that I won't have that pressure of those are the exact books that I have to read for that month. So y'all remember, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're missing out on a lot of book content, a lot of book recommendations, a lot of book conversations, and possibly a lot of books that you do not even have on your shelf, or books that you would like to add to your TBR. So Yolanda's Journaling likes to place a vlog on Wednesdays and Sundays so that we can communicate and we can always keep up with what each other is actually reading, what each other's thoughts is, and just the books that we really enjoy. Alright guys, book one of the books that I have on my phone through Audible. Because remember, what we're doing this month is we are reading the books that I already have downloaded on my Audible that I have on my shelf. So the first book, as you can see, is The Teacher by Frida McFadden. I have read 2 books by this author, and I have absolutely loved them. I've read The Housemaid and I've read Never Lie. So I've loved those books. Frida McFadden's writing style, the way her plots work out, the characters and the conversations that they have amongst each other in her books is just awesome. Like, I really love reading her books. I am not quite halfway into The Teacher, but I'm enjoying reading this book along with listening to the audio. The audio makes it all worthwhile. But it says Eve has a good life. She gets up each day, gets a kiss from her husband, and heads off to teach math at the local high school. All is as it should be expected. And Eve is Eve Bennett, is Mr. Bennett's wife. Last year, Kasem High was rocked by a scandal involving a student-teacher affair with one student, Addie, at its center. But Eve knows there is so far more to this ugly rumor than meets the eye. Addie can't be trusted. She lies. She hurts people. She destroys lives. And at least that's what everybody says. So, like, do they really know her? Do they really know her? You'll have to read the book to find out. We're reading it together in this vlog. But nobody knows the real Addie. Nobody knows the secret that could destroy her if people at the school found out. And when Eve discovers the shocking truth, Addie will do anything to keep her quiet. Y'all, I'm actually, like, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but that's how far I am, like, in this book. So with me telling y'all about this book and reading the back of this book and actually, like, reading that part of the book, like, I would just say, maybe y'all should try The Teacher by Frida McFadden. Book 2 that is on my Audible audio list is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I have not read anything about this book. I have seen this book on others' channels like a few times, not a whole lot. But to my understanding, it's about a girl who grew up as a child of a movie star and a filmmaker, and they actually die. And then she is actually taken in by her stepfather's stepbrothers. And Lord, y'all, I'm gonna read y'all the end of this. It says, as the three men take Tyrone under their wing, she slowly finds her place amongst them, but lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one else is watching. They each want her, but only one of them is going to keep her. That sounds a little sketchy to me. Sounds a little sketchy to me. So very interested in reading Credence by Penelope Douglas. I don't know why I want to keep saying Davis. Next two books is from Kennedy Ryan from the Hoop series. I have read book 1, which is Long Shot. So now I am going to read the other 2 books that is in this series. Block Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This one is about Jordan and Banner. Jordan Foster had $1. If Jordan Foster had $1 for every time Banner made his heart skip a beat, the heart everyone assumes is frozen over, he'd be richer than he already is. He's found success as a sports agent by always assuming no means I'll think about it. And he knows Banner he knows Banner is thinking about him. Her simmering anger, the way she puts him in place, foreplay, she thinks she's won the game, but they're just getting started. So y'all, I love books like this that just like makes my heart jump. And this is one of them, The Block Shot by Kennedy Ryan. Then we have Hoop Shot by Kennedy Ryan. And this one is about Ken and Lotus. It says, a single divorced dad in the final years of his basketball career, Ken's perfect life is blown up in his face. He's still picking up the pieces when he meets Lotus. A wildflower, a storm, a kick of his gut, and a wrench in his plans. From the moment their eyes met, he promised himself he'd never trust a woman again, but he's never wanted anyone the way he wants Lotus. So y'all, she writes such good books, and I am so excited to read her books. The Hoop Shot, the Hoop series, the order that these books goes in, y'all, is Long Shot, Block Shot, Hook Shot, and then it looks like there's 2 more called Hoops Shorts and then Close Up. And I actually also have the Kingmaker series that she has here in this book. Is called All the King's Men, The Kingmaker, The Rebel King, and Queen Move. So I'm so excited to read those books by Kennedy Ryan as well. There are actually 3 more books that I have. Well, yeah, 2 or 3. One of them I actually need to go and buy to have the physical copy of that book on hand, but it's the Hook series by Emily McIntyre. I've actually read Hooked, and I have Scar and Wrecked on my audiobook, I think. And I think I also have Twisted on there as well, but I only have Twisted and Scar on my bookshelf. So I guess I have to go to Target and get Wrecked, because I need to have the book if I'm going to complete this vlog for you guys. But anyway, so I have Scar. It's by Emily McIntyre, and it says, she doesn't belong to him, she belongs to the crown. Prince Tristan was never designed for the throne. That was always his brother Michael, the same brother responsible for Tristan's tormented childhood and the scar that masks his face, Mars's face. When their father dies, Michael is set to assume the throne, and Tristan is set to steal it. The leader of a secret rebel, Tristan will stop at nothing to end brother's reign. But when Michael's new betrothed lady Sarah arrives, Tristan finds himself in the middle of a new kind of war. The kind that begs the question of what's more important, the crown or the woman about to wear it. Sarah has one plan: marry the king, even at the risk of her own polar. But she never expects the scarred prince. He's dangerous, forbidden, and one of the men she's been sent to kill. But the lines between hatred and passion has never seemed so thin. And as secrets come to light, Sarah grows unsure of whom she can trust, torn between vengeance and the villain she was never supposed to love. Now that sounds interesting. A Never After series, a novel. So, is this like a reimagining of Peter Pan? Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know. When I see the Never After series, that kind of makes me think about Peter Pan. Or what is this? What trope is this, y'all? Let me know. So, no, because all of them said the Never After series. So, what is Scarred? Scarred. Is it The Lion King? That's what I'm thinking about, The Lion King. Y'all, it's been so long since I've had these books on my shelf. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know, like, what reimagining is Scarred. When I just looked at the actual title, Scarred, it makes me think about The Lion King. So just let me know if I'm right. And this one is Twisted by Emily McIntyre. It says she's his diamond in the rough. He's her worst nightmare. Now that makes me think about Aladdin. So is this like the reimagining of Aladdin? Yasmin, I'm guessing it is. Yasmin, daughter of one of the richest men in the world, has never known strife. So when her beloved father falls ill, she's determined to make his final days his happiest. His last wish, to see her married to a man of her choice. Except Yasmin's heart already belongs to someone else, a servant, a man her father would never consider worthy. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, Yasmin strikes a desperate deal with her father's right-hand man, Julian, not realizing he has his own twisted agenda. So yeah, so that one is reimagining of Peter Pan. Not Peter Pan, I'm sorry, Aladdin. And the other one that I don't have on hand, y'all just bear with me for a moment, is Wrecked. And I'm actually going to get that book because I need that book on hand. Give me just a second. And it's book 3. So this one right here is actually book 4 of the Never After series. Hooked was book 1, and then Scarred is book 2. Wrecked is book 3 of the series. This is the one that I actually do not have on hand, but I will actually go and get. It says this one is reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. It says a woman can be great and terrible too. Evelina has always been the bad guy. As the brain, brawn, and Baptiste behind her family's drug empire, she's her father's ruthless secret weapon, with her days divided between perfecting her greenhouse, seeking revenge of her sister's murder, and putting a gun to the head of anyone in her way. Evelina doesn't have time for anything else, especially not for love. After a one-night stand with a gorgeous man at a nightclub, she stats her urgency and is back to her criminal ways. That is until the same man shows up at the new Wrestling Likely under a totally different name. But Nicholas' real secret is much more dangerous than his ally. He's an undercover DEA agent, and he's hell-bent on destroying the drug trade that devastated his family. When he realizes the young girl of the Westlands Empire is the same woman he's been fantasizing about since the night at the club, attraction wars violently and disgust. Evelina embodies everything he's against, and he's been sent here to be her downfall. Yet, the more they learn about the darkness in each other's heart, the more alike they seem. And when hatred turns to something more, Nicholas will have to decide whether he can love a wrecked woman, even if it means bringing both of their lives to ruin. Wrecked is a dark contemporary romance, and the third complete standalone in the Never After series, a collection of fractured fantasy tales inspired by our favorite villain. It is not fantasy, and it is not a retelling. Oh, readers, so it's not a reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. It is a reimagining of... See, now they got me confused on Goodreads, because it says not a retelling, but it's a reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. And from reading this, I really don't see how this is actually the reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, like, I don't see that as being the reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know, like, give me something that I'm not actually seeing to make me realize that this is the reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. But those are the 3 books that I will be reading from the Never After series. In this, friends, just to recap, the books that I am reading in this vlog is Wrecked by Emily McIntyre. We have Scarred by Emily McIntyre. We have Twisted by Emily McIntyre. We have Hook Shot by Kennedy Ryan. We have Block Shot by Kennedy Ryan. We have Credence by Penelope Douglas. And then last but not least, which is actually the first, we have The Teacher by Frida McFadden. So y'all join me on this Audible audio reading vlog.